Welcome back to 1v1. My name is Derrian Carter, and I had the incredible opportunity to interview former NFL and XFL punter Marquette King regarding his personal and professional life. And so, without further ado, let's get this episode underway. Enjoy.
You're the last one. Complete the mission.
Well, how you doing, Mr. Marquette King? My name is Derrian Carter. It's nice to meet you virtually.
Good to meet you too, man. That's the only choice we got right now, man.
Yeah, the pandemic is so crazy right now. So
Yeah.
for my interviews, I like starting off with like an icebreaker question. And my question to you is, what song, movie, or even book would you use to describe your life during the pandemic and why?
Man, that's a really good question. Man, I don't know. It would have to be some kind of Calvin Harris song because I don't know. I'm always thinking about living life as a party. So like, even though we went through the pandemic and stuff, I still had my glasses of wine. I still had my fun. So maybe like a Calvin Harris song. I don't know. That's kind of hard question.
Really, I have some. I had a chance to interview Lawrence Fishburne. He used the movie Contagion as he played in that film and during dealing with the pandemic.
You know what? Project X.
Okay.
Project X.
Why Project X?
Cause I just like to have a good time. Like I just like to wild out every once in a while, have fun. So yeah.
Yes, sir. Before we started, you said you started doing music. What inspired you to start creating music? Like, what was that process for you?
Shoot, when I was with the Raiders, we would get off and we would have a lot of time to do nothing. Like we'd get off at like 2 o'clock. And I was just sitting around the house. At first I bought a keyboard, learned how to play keyboard from watching YouTube, and then I was like, what does my voice sound like if I recorded over it? Because I made beats a lot when I was in high school and stopped when football got serious. And man, I eventually started recording my own voice and started putting how I actually feel about certain things on it. And since then, it's just been a huge thing for me. So like in the works, it's popping for me right now, especially internationally.
So, like in your music, what kind of themes do you put into your music? For example, love, heartbreak, betrayal, themes like that.
Yeah, I talk about some of the little stories I've had with people or experiences that I go through. And I try to be as organic as possible with it. I notice it's artists out there that talk about stuff that probably hasn't really happened, but it really feels because I don't really like to discuss how I feel about certain stuff often. And my way to discuss that is creating a song and making a song to it. And it actually helps out a lot, like a whole lot.
As it being Black History Month, I have a Black History Month question for you. Who is your favorite Black history figure that you looked up to growing up, or even now?
Greg Coleman. Greg Coleman was the first black punter in the NFL. Some of the stories that he's told me he's been through is crazy. Cool thing about it too is the fact that he lived it. Like he lived it. He's still alive, and he's like a he's like a family member to me because we talk a lot, and he's always in my corner. He actually came to one of my games when we played FAMU, the last season of my game season in Fort Valley. But the stuff that he went through and he overcame to be the person that he is, like I'm super thankful for that. So that's why I like him.
Yes, sir. And get into your time at Fort Valley. Can you talk about how Fort Valley helped shape who you are today and the importance of attending an HBCU?
Well, you know how it is. You go to Clark Atlanta, man. So like we don't have the best things ever. So like it's almost like we got to work with what we got, and it creates a different kind of seasoning to you. Like it adds edginess to you to want to work harder, just because the people at the bigger schools got the cooler things, and we might not have the cooler things. But once you understand how to make use of what you got, that'll change the whole game. And just because of what we go through going to HBCU, it makes you 10 times better than a lot of other people that you're going against.
Right, and because CAU's motto is find a way or make one, and in my research I found that Fort Valley's is be bold, be amazing, and be prepared. Pursuing your NFL dreams, how did you embody Fort Valley's motto?
Um, I embodied it by just being myself, living life, because that's one of the main things that I think going to Fort Valley State helped me do. And seeing how people are, because as you grow up and go through college, you just kind of you observe people, you watch, and you pick different pieces of what somebody else has to create who you are. And the thing that I noticed about going to HBCU, such as Fort Valley, was a lot of people were just super confident in themselves. It was almost like they were so proud to go to FVSU, and they wear their Fort Valley shirts wherever they go. They can go to UGA and you'll see them with a Fort Valley State shirt on. Like they didn't care what school they went to because they had so much pride. And I think Fort Valley just taught me how to just have more pride in myself, trust myself, and bet on myself at all times.
And I noticed in your from some of your interviews and things like that that you want more black punters in the NFL. Why hasn't that come to fruition? Is it a question of exposure or is it a question of talent?
Man, well, how do I say this the right way? I honestly think so. I was doing a little bit of research, and I was seeing that the NFL was started in 1939. So, and it was it's always been a progression for Black people to get into the NFL. And I don't know if you remember, but the early 2000s was when the Black quarterback era started. Like it was hard for Black people to be quarterbacks, and I think what's going on now is now the kicker and punter position is going through that now, where it's crazy that it's only been 4 to 5 Black punters and kickers in the league. But I think that a lot of coaches expect, especially back then, I think a lot of coaches expect that since you're Black or athletic, you should be playing another position. And I don't think that's the case. It's a lot of talented Black punters and kickers out. You got Corey Carter, you got Vadvik, uh, Presley Harvin coming out of Georgia Tech, and then man, it's a lot of talent out there that's just um, not getting a fair shot. I feel like, and it might have a little bit to do with knowing the right people, whatnot. But at the end of the day, like they always say, it's a league of the best of the best. So they should have the best, including myself. Like I feel like I'm allowed to say that because of the amount of work that I put in, my statistics. I'm still ranked in the top 10 in the NFL period. So um, it's just I don't know, still trying to kind of figure it out. But
Because
what you
you're
think?
you're clearly passionate about that, and I respect that. Is it like get into the general managers of these teams to recognize the talent of black punters, or is it just the mindset that they have, similar to what you said with the quarterback position, how they had to evolve?
Mm, I've been approached about the way my personality is about it. I've had people say certain things about I don't know. Sometimes I wonder, is it a certain mold that I'm supposed to fit? But it'd be impossible for me to fit a mold because how many punters have you ever seen in the NFL that's ever been to a HBCU? Um, so it's always gonna be different for me. But I don't know. I don't think it's a lack of connection because, like I said, it's supposed to be a league where it's the best. So if it's the best, let's get the best.
And you, as you said, you are outspoken and you have confidence in your ability, and that sometimes rub people the wrong way. How do you not conform to the stereotype of a professional punter, quote unquote?
Um, I think my main focus is to be myself no matter what. I feel like it's very important to be yourself, and I feel like I make an impact when I'm true to who I am, because it's got to suck to go home and be somebody that you're not. Like that would actually kill me at the end of the day if I had to go to work every day and pretend that I'm somebody that I'm not. It'll just drive me crazy. And I know me being who I truly am, I make an impact with people really well. Even this past season, last year around this time when I played for the St. Louis Battlehawks. Any fans that ran into me or whatever, took pictures with them, gave them hugs, just gave them words of encouragement. If I saw some fans in a bar, send some shots over there, talk to them, see how their days are going. Like, but I honestly think it comes down to people not taking the time to get to know who you are. A lot of people have a lot of assumptions about how people are, especially from TV, from a distance. And it's like, even I've even heard people talk about some people like Draymond Green when I was in the Bay. They're like, man, he's this or he's that. And I'm like, well, how you gonna call him that? You never met him before. You don't know who he is as a person. So I think that's the problem. A lot of people don't really take the time, especially with me, to get to know who I am. So, I mean, you're just gonna have this thought of me for a while if you never take the time to pick up a phone and talk to me or go out and get a glass of wine and just chat with me, see where I'm coming from.
Right. And as you said, the St. Louis Battlehawks, you also play for the Raiders and the Denver Broncos. And wherever you seem to go, from what I've seen, fans always love you. What make fans root for you wherever you go?
Because I'm true to myself, I'm real, and I encourage them to be that. I encourage them to be that. It's already hard enough as it is. Like, so many people are trying to fit in, and that's something that drives me crazy. Even when I did music, like, I didn't want to make normal music. I wanted to do something different, and I constantly encourage people that I run into to continue doing what they do and continue being true to themselves, and you thrive like that.
Right. And I have a question regarding the football, because you're clearly passionate into getting back into it. But we've seen in the recent years that football leagues are slowly trying to eliminate kicking from the game. For example, the NFL had discussions of replacing the onside kick for a 4th and 15, and even in the XFL with their unique kickoff rules. Do you think football leagues will eliminate kicking altogether?
That's a good question. That's a good question. I don't really know exactly what they plan on doing. I just know, I don't know. Thank goodness I don't kick. They got some issues. I don't know. I honestly don't know. Maybe.
Even with there's a notion that they're saying like punters aren't people, like they're only sole reason into the game is just for the other side to get the ball back. Like I feel like they don't, like, people don't respect punting and kicking for
Yeah.
like for you missed a game winning a game winning or game time field goal, or you shank a punt. It's like when fans or analysts see that, they'll be like, they shouldn't be even out there. It's like quote
Yeah.
stuff like that is like makes me like think about that in that kind of way.
Yeah. I mean, people don't think it's hard until they gotta try it or until they really need it. And I've noticed that. Like, I I mean, I demand respect. Like, I give respect, so I deserve respect, and I make sure I respect everybody else around me. So that's why I do it. I mean, and I've been pretty respected for the most part. So I mean, I haven't experienced it, but I've seen some punters and kickers that have experienced, but they ain't gonna try me. I mean, you know how it is. Come on, man. We ain't putting up with that for no HBCU.
For facts, that's big facts. Also, I've noticed like a disconnect between some like retired and current professional athletes, where some current athletes feel that the retired ones do not respect and appreciate their game with some of the things they say in the media. In your experience, have you ever been criticized by a retired athlete, or even someone who is a considered a vet on your team or on another team?
Yeah, I think I've heard a couple of things. I don't even want to call out no names because I'm that type of person. Like, um, but I've definitely been talked about or called out by a retired player. Uh, I'm sure, well known, and I mean, like I always say, if you don't know me, then I mean, you just gonna always have that thought. Like, and I don't know, it is what it is. If you feel that way, I'm sorry, but I'm over here living life, and that's my goal. Like I always say, I'm gonna keep living life, and you just live yours. If you want to live a boring life and or whatnot, just continue doing it. Let me just do me.
Right. And one of the most critical aspects of my life is giving back to the community.
Hmm.
During this time, during this pandemic, the coronavirus, have you participated in any community service efforts during the pandemic?
I've done several things. When I do stuff, I don't like to televise it or record it because I feel like when you genuinely do stuff for people, you don't have to put it out. But
Right.
I mean, even when the Corona thing first hit, it was a couple of teammates from the Battlehawks that I know because they didn't pay us like that well, and I was like, okay, I feel like I'm in a good place financially. So what I did was I reached out to several players on the Battlehawks, including a few coaches, and I called to make sure they were financially straight. And there's a couple of people I sent a couple of bucks to because I know that their situation in life is a little bit different than what I'm going through.
Right.
I don't have a family to take care of, but I know something helps. So it was even outside of the Battlehawks, people that I've met that are like waiters and waitresses around the area of Arizona. Um, Sent a couple of things, sent a couple of dollars to them, make sure they were good. And when they did the Black Lives Matter thing, when they were burning buildings and breaking stuff, I tried to organize something where the police officers in Phoenix get together with the citizens of out here in Phoenix, and we do like a cleanup effort. Because if you're trying to get your point across, I understand what was going on back a couple of months ago. It sucked. It really sucked. At the same time, to get your point across, you got to be strategic about it. You don't just start burning stuff up. You don't tear up your own backyard. So you got to find a strategic way to handle stuff like the issues that were going on there.
Got you. And attending the HBCU, did you feel it was harder to gain recognition by scouts and teams in comparison to predominantly white institutions?
Heck yeah. Yeah. It's funny though, because like, I feel like a lot of HBCUs don't gain the respect that they need. And shout out to Deion Sanders for taking that head coaching job at the school that he's at now, because um, he's using the platform that he created on a big stage to bring it and create recognitions for all HBCUs. Like that was big. That was big. So um, heck yeah.
Through your journey in the NFL and XFL, who were your favorite teammates throughout your journey?
NFL, XFL, let's see. Um, NFL, uh, I guess Sebastian Janikowski and Kundo, they were actually kind of fun to hang around. I was kind of a I was kind of an outcast. I I hung around people. I had a good time around people, but I still was in my own little world too. You know, like I hang out with them, I have a good time, but I was just always in my own little world. So I wasn't around too many people on the team that much. But when I was, it was always a good time.
Being considered like as you labeled it an outcast, it has its pros and cons, but sometimes society looks down upon outcasts. Why do you feel like you gonna always be yourself no matter regardless of anyone's opinion and like staying true to your authentic self?
Well, because when it's time for us to die, we're gonna die by ourselves. Them people that got an opinion, they're not coming with us. So that's how I look at it. I mean, you got to live your life. You got to do what you got to do, and you make an impact while you're here. Because when it's your time to go, you're gonna be going by yourself.
Right. What motivates you to keep pursuing your goals despite the obstacles you face?
I ain't gonna lie, it's hard. It's hard. It's been times where I wanted to quit because I know I feel like I'm not getting a fair shot. I'm being overlooked on purpose, and the thing that keeps me motivated is just is talking to God every once in a while and trying to understand why I'm going through what I'm going through. At the same time, I live life so hard and like to have fun where it doesn't really stress me out too much, but I do have my days where sometimes I have my lows to where I just get down, but I snap out of it pretty fast. Especially having my friend Kamara, the one that set this up, like she's cool to talk to and vent to every once in a while. So I got my cousin, my boy Blue. Like I got some people in my circle that helps keep me up.
Right. We all do. And it's nice to have those people around for sure.
Yeah.
Goals for yourself in 2021. We know 2020 was so crazy, but what are some goals for yourself?
My goal this year, I want to be back in the NFL playing, and I guarantee you when I'm playing, I will be the best punter in the NFL. That's a promise. Uh, Also, the music that I make, I have a handful of songs that I know could possibly take off, like be big. So uh, I think those are my main goals, and probably get more into like real estate or something, like commercial real estate. And yeah, that's about it.
Right. And last question. I know you have to go, so I appreciate you taking the time out to do this. I really do appreciate it. When your
Heck yeah.
football career is all said and done, how would you like to be remembered?
I want to be remembered as the person that encouraged people to be true to themselves. I feel like I feel like a lot of people in this country lack authenticity. And I want to be one of the few people that are true to who they are and authentic to themselves, to where people are like, you know what? They look up whatever they need to look up and like just focus on trying to be better themselves. Like just be better versions of them instead of trying to be like other people.
Right, and I'm sorry, I just got one more. It just popped in.
Yeah, go ahead, bro. Go ahead. Go ahead.
What do you say to the kickers and punters who are playing for HBCU right now, who are grinding and working their tail off, but still not getting the recognition they would like to see? What do you say to them?
Um, keep swinging. Keep swinging. The only thing you can do is keep swinging, keep praying, and keep manifesting the goal that you want to be at. Like, so one thing I used to do was I created myself on Madden in my room when I went back to my dorm, and I would just visualize myself playing in the league, and not listening to the noise on the outside where it's like, you from a small school, you're gonna get that look. So just shut out all the noise.
Right, and that is it, 100% this time. I thank you. I really appreciate it. It's HBCU connection. I love it. Um,
Yeah,
so I really appreciate it, and I would like to stay in contact with you if you're okay with that.
I got you.
And that is it. Thank you again.